Savage Love is a collection of 19 poems written by Sam Shepard and Joseph Chaikin that's all about romantic love and the closeness and distance between lovers and all of the forms and moments within love. This piece was written in the 80s, so through this process we had a lot of fun really taking the opportunity to mold these words and shape a new world that related to modern audiences. A really big aspect of this show was the movement and the choreography. It being a collection of just a bunch of poems, it was really important to me to keep the story flowing and keep it moving. Throughout this whole collection, there are several different stories that are being told, and there are several themes that we explore. Savage is a poem in which we explored the world of domestic abuse. It has the word you repeating over and over again, and it was very aggressive, so I wanted the ensemble to say you together over and over again, confronting this abuser, confronting this person who is controlling them.
You reminds me of myself. You who controls me.
I paired it with a very intense song because it was from the perspective of the victim, of the survivor. So I think it was another example of the music really elevating the mood and really elevating the story. It's about this struggle and this reach for freedom, and they're so close, but they can't quite get out of it.
Who leads me to believe that we're forever in love?
Forever in love.
Acting was another very important piece. This was a very good example of us really modernizing this piece. We interpreted it as relationships in the modern age with social media and technology, where you portray this perfect image of your relationship and your love on Instagram or Facebook or wherever, but in real life, you have so many distractions and you have so many things that are taking your time that you're not devoting enough time to the relationship and to the connection that you have, and you don't even look up until it's gone. Babel is about not being able to find the right words, not being able to express your emotions. We started with just a simple metronome ticking, and they went through the words, we figured out who was going to say what, and we figured out the timing and the flow that this poem had. And after we figured that out, I wanted to add body percussion to kind of exemplify the choppiness of the words and the starts and stops of your thoughts and your sentences. And so we created movements for each one of them that were driven by emotion. And throughout all of that, we figured out a pattern of body percussion that went together. And then we practiced those isolated for a little while, and then we put them together.
I want to show something
That
something tender that
comes from you. I
can't.
my word. Well,
I wanna
bring something out.
that
But it doesn't fit this time.
Beggar starts off with this girl who is very codependent and does not believe that she is worthy of love, does not see any self-worth in herself, and she is clinging on to these toxic relationships. The poem was accompanied by a song called She, and it was literally the perfect song to put with it.
You touch me with your voice.
It starts so ethereal and dreamlike, and it's so haunting with the movements that we put with it.
Straight in your face.
I think it really, really brought the poem to life.
Can I just walk behind you for a little while?
She says things like, I'll accept whatever it is, whatever you can give me, I'll take. But then it slowly starts to pick up. She starts to realize, wait a second, why am I just laying down and taking this? I'm worth more than this. And it turns into this really powerful, inspiring song. And she's proclaiming, I don't need anybody else, I have me, and that's all that matters. And she's just rejoicing in this freedom that she's found. And then the poem ends, and we basically have a 3 to 4 minute celebration of this freedom and this independence that leads to her literally flying in this freedom and flying away from everything that had held her down before. Throughout the entire movement of this show, there were a couple things that we were really intentional about, especially in repeating and mimicking within this world, one of which was this diagonal that we used in several different parts of the show. And it was kind of a symbol of this relationship that seems so straightforward, this diagonal line between two people, but the multitude of different stories that can be going on between those two people on that diagonal line. Another thing that we were really intentional about repeating was our sign, our symbol for love, which started with the ASL sign for sorry, but then we put it over our hearts. And to us, that really encapsulated the duality and complexities of love. There is still a reason why we pursue it, and there's a reason why there's so many songs written about it, so many poems written about it, so many pieces of art about it.
And we were happy to be part of some of these stories through our production of Savage Love.